has a mission here, Elfie, doesn't she? She wants to make it to the vault final.
Yeah, and she made it to the vault finals at the World Championships last year in Tokyo, and that's what punched her ticket here to these London Olympic Games. And you can see just to the left of her would be the maximum score that this young lady can score on this vault. It's a 17.1. It's by far the hardest vault being done by a woman today.
3 flips around, that handspring, double front. Oh. And she has stood that up, but that right there was a sit, and that's going to do some damage. The only other gymnast I've ever seen do this on the women's side was the great Yelena Prudinova at the 1999 World Championships in Tianjin, China. Prudinova landed on her feet, but this one right here, not enough rotation and just not even close, really.
So what would she have to do to generate the extra push to get that rotation completed?
Well, you know, to be honest, it's very technical, but as she was hitting the board, her center of gravity was leaning too far forward. And when you do that, you can't get your body flipping over right away. And so you're doing like almost a Superman dive forward as opposed to starting a rotation of a flip.
But you have to give this young lady a lot of credit. This is such a huge vault. She takes great risk, but can you imagine landing on your feet? 17.1. That's an incredible score, and she had difficulty at the World Championships as well. Actually landed right on her back and scored 0.
In the qualifying, though, she did make it. That was the only way she could.
A 14.9.33, so as you might expect, serious deductions there. Now vault number 2.
And this one has a maximum score of 15.8, which is very typical. That's one of the harder vaults being done. It's called a Yurchenko. She'll do a half turn onto the board and then flip off and do a laid-out somersault with 2 twists.
There we go. That's more like it. Her coach is excited.
You know, and you never know, because there are so few women in the powerhouse teams that are competing 2 vaults. So you never know. Even with that set, that's a pretty good second vault. It might be enough.
Well, she's going to have an anxious day.
She is.
Wouldn't that be fun to get an opportunity to see her try that really difficult vault in the event finals? But as Tim mentioned, this vault, 2 twists, a little lower, maximum start score at 15.8. But she's successful on this one. Some form deductions, but it's a good vault.
And her score is a 14.466 for the second vault. And so now we're not sure. She has to finish in the top 8 to make it to the vault final. Much more women's qualification gymnastics throughout the day. Team USA and where they stack up coming up in prime time as the 30th Olympiad continues.